Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brandon here with another video for you guys today. I really appreciate you guys all clicking on this video. It means the world to me. And today we're just going to be going over my watch list for the week. The three different stocks I'm really looking to either go long, short, credit spreads, all of the above. Everything is on the table for me. But before we get into the middle part of the video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel as it really goes a far way in helping me out. I really appreciate all the support you guys are already giving me now. I would just love if you guys keep showing me love. But without rambling on too much about that, let's get into the video. So before we get into the stocks this week, I just want to talk about what happened last week. Last week was a pretty interesting week in my opinion. And actually, if you look at the three stocks I said to watch out for last week, it was SPY, Fastly, and GLD, gold. All of them had great opportunities to get in and make a decent amount of money. SPY, the call spreads I called out, would have worked perfectly that last week. And then Fastly had a run up on puts the first day, and the next few days, you could have made a lot of money on the call side. So just something you have to watch and pay attention for. Definitely not amazing 100% accurate, but just giving you ideas for the market. And then the third stock, GLD, it was the least active one, but the first day I called it out, probably within the first few hours of the market opening, you had options contracts going up 200%. So just putting that little bug in your guys' ears. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this week's watch list. So the first stock I'm watching again is SPY. I'm going to stay pretty basic with this one here. The reason why I say that is just because I think it's in a very, very interesting point in the stock, to be honest. And the reason why I say that is if we just look at this, I believe it's the month chart, is that we hit this high. Let me actually go down to this 5-day chart. We hit the high all the way up here, and the market did not like it that high at all. It just immediately came down. And ever since it's hit that high, it's just we've consolidated a little bit, but it looks like we're going down a little bit. So the reason why I'm eyeing this one especially is because I think one or two things might happen. I think we're going to either see a potential drop this week. And when I say drop, I'm not meaning a crash, but I feel like we might have a little bit of a pullback this week, especially if stimulus talks halt or if the market doesn't like at the size of the stimulus package. The market really might reject that and it could really drop from that. Or if the vaccines that are rolling out have bad news or people are just not responding to it very well. And so that's why I'm leaning more towards that the market might be down this week. But to play devil's advocate to myself, we could very well, if the vaccines do really well and people are happy with it and they are really willing to risk more, we could just rip up and make a new high. We really could. I would not be surprised if we went right back up to 371 because that's just how the market's been acting this month, or this year, rather, I should say. It's irrational. We all know how the market's been. But it's getting to the point now where it's almost been so irrational, we might need a bit of a reality check, especially if stuff is halting with news or the markets in general. So that is my first stock I'm going to be watching this week. The second one is an IPO, Airbnb. And the reason why I'm going to be watching this one is because I found it very interesting that last week when it came out and IPO'd, that all these IPOs are having such high premium when they came out. Because Airbnb originally was only going to be like $63 or whatever it was per share, but ended up opening at like 163 or something, or actually not that big. It ended up opening at like 145-ish, which is just absolutely crazy. These IPOs premiums are just doesn't make much sense, to be fully honest with you. But it ripped up and then the market said, nope, we don't like that at all. And then it came right back down because people didn't want to pay that premium for it. As good of a company Airbnb could be, especially with the future potential, a lot of people just thought it was overvalued there. And as you can see, in the next couple days, it's just the market did not want it at all. And especially on Friday night, it just dropped through towards the close. And so I think the reason this stock is going to be very interesting to watch is just for the simple fact is the market done on this IPO? Are they not wanting to pay this premium? Is it just going to keep dropping until it gets around to this 80 level, 60 level? Who even knows? It's an IPO, so there's no price action whatsoever. It's just either going to rip up or go down pretty much. So my thing is, it looks like it didn't really like the IPO premium. And same with Dash, because DoorDash, it's holding up the levels a little bit better, but Airbnb, they did not hold up at all. So this week I'm watching it because if it continues to drop, I'm feeling like it's going to be a little bit more bearish in the market in general. But again, playing devil's advocate with myself, if it rips up from here and retests these highs again of like 163, to me, for whatever reason, I feel like that's going to be a bull signal for me with the market. I feel like they'll run kind of hand in hand, that they're wanting to put money into this stock. So that means they're going to be bullish on the market in general, that they're thinking everything is going well, people are going to be using Airbnb, so on and so forth. So that's the reason why I'm going to be watching Airbnb. It's just kind of a indicator stock. I don't think I'm going to really play it. I'm just going to be watching it to see how it moves in correlation with the other indexes in market. And now the third one I'm going to be watching, this one I think is going to be a pretty big telltale sign, is I'm going to be watching Boeing, probably fairly heavy this week. And the reason why I say that, if we check the month chart, it's been a pretty big mover this last month. It's moved up a lot. And the reason why I'm going to be watching it so heavily after this run up, it's been paired up with the market pretty well because it's a pretty big component of the Dow and it has some S&P pool. So I really think airlines, and Boeing runs hand in hand with the airlines generally, are going to be a big sign of where the market is heading, what direction, either up or down. And so if we really do have a bad week, I think Boeing might tell the story first before the market does in general. And so I think it's very important to have this on your guys' watch list this week. But of course, this is not financial advice. Do not listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. If you listen to me, you will lose money, but I'm going to be watching Boeing pretty heavy. Because usually, unless it's just some weird news, it kind of tells you where the market's going. And if airlines have some bad news or the vaccine gets in trouble, I feel like we might see this drop. And if it drops, we may be able to see this and then maybe able to get ahead on SPY per se, get some quick puts, spreads, whatever it is. So this is going to be a really good indicator for me this week. And then I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a bonus stock. One more I'm going to be watching is TLT. I'm just going to be watching these bonds and the bond yields, because this is a really good bull and bear signal. Because if the rates are going up, that's a pretty bullish sign. So I'm just going to be watching, because if TLT rips up from here, that's a bear sign, without a doubt. So, like, bonds are at a very interesting point, too, because the bond yields are actually towards highs of the year, which is kind of crazy to think about. So that kind of tells me that the market is kind of ready for a risk all or a risk on kind of event. But if you think about it, it's usually when people are expecting it less that things tend to happen. So that's why I'm going to be watching TLT this week as well, because it's at an interesting point where it's getting ready to either test this 160 level, or it could just drop right back down to towards 150. We don't know. That's why this week with the news with the vaccines and the stimulus is going to be so very important compared to even last week, because the closer we get to the end of the year, the crazier I think moves are going to be, and we're really going to see something happen here. But if you guys liked what I said, didn't like what I said, please drop it down below, as it helps me with the YouTube channel. I'll respond to each one of you guys, as it means so much to me that you guys even want to watch me talk. Especially if you made it this far in the video, then that means you have some real commitment to listen to my voice. I don't know how you guys do it, but you do. But Remember to subscribe to the channel, even like the video. It does so much for my channel. But if you guys have any comments, concerns, your own watch list, drop them down below. But before I start rambling on some more, have a great day and have a great trading week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.